Hello again and welcome to another video in my tutorial series for the Roland Aerophone GO. And in this video I'd like to show you the app and the very useful playback feature that's included. There are many aspects of this that I think is really useful, so I thought it was worth making a video on. So please keep watching and subscribe to my channel. Let's get into this video. So here I am ready to go. I'm already connected via Bluetooth. By the way, if you're not sure how to do that, you can see one of my previous videos. In fact, there is a whole playlist of Aerophone GO tutorials, all nicely laid out in a series in a chronological order for you to follow. That's on my YouTube channel. So I'm connected without wires via Bluetooth. I've selected a sound here in the sound menu. Again, I've talked about this in an earlier video. And I'm on the playback screen here. And the first thing we'd like to do is load a file, load a backing track. So very simply pressing select a music file. Now on mine here, I've already got some tunes I've loaded in the past, but yours will probably start with nothing there. So what we're going to do is press on the orange button that says library. And now here, this is the typical screen that you may well have seen on other apps where we can choose music from a playlist by an artist, an album or whatever. Or of course we can search in the title by typing in at the bottom here. So really quick, I'm just going to go playlists. And I've got some Aerophone tracks here, and all I need to do is touch on one of these and it will load it right into my player. So that's the track loaded. Now let's see what we can actually do with it. So I've found my backing track file and I've loaded it into the app. By the way, there's a really handy shortlist that comes up there, as you've just seen a moment ago. And this will save you having to go back through that process each time and select one of those files. Your previously chosen tunes will be there in that shortlist. By the way, if you want to delete one of those because you've decided you're not going to use it for a little while, we can simply select one and slide your finger over to the left, press remove, and that's that one gone. So now press the back button and my track is loaded and I can get playing straight away. Just press play. I've got some little headphones on here, which is the best way of monitoring and hearing your sound. So a really quick, simple setup there to just get playing straight away. But there's quite a bit more we can do with this file now we've got it loaded. So let's take a closer look. So the playback is working nice and easily for us, but there's a few extra things that we can do. And let's start with these main controls down here at the bottom of the screen. Self-explanatory, of course, you've got your volume control, but then you've got a speed control. So as we're playing back the app, we can actually change the speed of the track either to go slightly slower or slightly faster. Now I actually find that's useful sometimes for practicing perhaps some tricky passages, or even it's quite useful if you're wanting to listen to a track and maybe play along with it and kind of transcribe it at a slightly slower speed. So it's a really useful part of the app there. I'm just going to put that back to its usual speed. And then we've even got the ability to change the key of the tune as well. So if you just have a listen to this, I'm going to move the slider now, and I can change the key. Now I'm in a different key. So that's really useful if you just prefer to play in a certain key, or actually as a practice routine, if you want to build up your improvisation skills, to be able to use the same track but in multiple keys is really useful. Now don't forget, with each one of those controls, the speed control and the key control, if you push it too far, you're probably going to get sort of artifacts in the sound. That might be still okay for practicing, but I probably wouldn't use it like that for performance. But within a semitone, a few semitones, and to just change the speed slightly, usually the results are really good. So carrying on then, we've looked at those controls at the bottom. Then across the middle, we've got a couple of other controls. The karaoke button there, what that does is it reduces the volume of, say, a vocal track that you might have. If you'd like to lose some of the vocalists in there and just play along with the track, then you can play along with that. It has varying degrees of success. On some tracks it does a rather good job, on other tracks it doesn't really manage to get rid of the vocals entirely, but it's still a useful feature. And then the other thing which I think is useful is this A-B feature down here. So once we click this, we get a starting point in the track. Now what this is going to do is allow us to select a section of the track that we'd like to repeat, maybe for practice purposes. So now you've got your A-B points. The track is going to play from point A, and once it gets to point B, it's going right back to point A again straight away. So just a useful little rehearsal feature that you can turn on and off on each track. The other thing that I can do with this is, while I'm playing along with a track, I can still actually change my sounds as the track's playing. The track is just going to play along in the background. So here I've started off, and I go to my sound list. Now I'm selecting my flute sound. If I want to go back to my harmonica, and of course, it's at this point that you're going to appreciate those little quick change buttons at the bottom of the sound selector. So rather than going through the menu, you can just select quickly your sounds at the bottom that you'd like for that track. So that's the play along feature in the app. I think it's great. It's so handy just to have this brilliant little setup. The Aerophone GO, I've got, don't have to have a cable to go to the Aerophone GO. I don't even have to use these earphones if I don't want to, because I could just monitor the sound either through the iPad itself or through a little external speaker. But with the headphones plugged in, I am a completely self-contained little studio. I'm never going to annoy the neighbours or the family, so I can play for as long as I'd like, without disturbing anybody. So I hope you found that to be another useful little insight into the app. Please remember, subscribe to my channel. There are going to be a few more coming up very soon to finish off this series of the Roland Aerophone GO tutorials, and thanks very much for watching.